The Sex Ed with Tim podcast is recorded on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13, signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Williams Treaty, signed with multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands.
You're listening to Sex Ed with Tim.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sex Ed with Tim podcast. I am your host, Tim, a certified sex educator. I identify as a chaotic homosexual. And when Hester Prynne wore the big scarlet A, is that considered capital punishment?
It took me a minute. I was a little slow on the uptake, but I finally got it.
We got there. Yeah. Took the scenic route.
But you know what? I am impressed that you knew the reference. A lot of people don't know that the protagonist's name in Scarlet Letter is Hester Prynne. So they might pick up on Scarlet being a reference to Scarlet Letter, but the Prynne part, I'm impressed you knew. So whenever I was picking my podcast name, I wanted to do a play on Scarlet Letter, but then looking at the protagonist's name, like, there's no fucking way that I'm going to call myself Hester. So
Why?
I did kind of a play.
Name, right?
Oh, no, it's awful. God awful. I was like, no. So I just took the last name and part of the title, and I figured that was a great compromise. But yeah. Like I said, I'm impressed. You knew.
Thank you. She's smart. She's a little educated and just a tiny bit inebriated. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm on a roll.
What I love is what your audience doesn't know right now is that behind you are two very large penises, stuffed penises, in multiple colors. So I have quite the view. It's fun. Your room looks fun.
This one over here, this is Richard, aka Dick. And that one over there is Jackson, as in Jax on.
Oh, that's hilarious. I love it.
Richard and Jackson. And
I might have to get a couple of those.
It's courtesy of Etsy. Thank you.
Nice.
I don't know if my audience will ever see this. I normally post this on my Instagram stories, but right behind Richard and Jackson is a portrait of naked man. He's in rope bondage.
Very nice. So are you into BDSM?
You know what? I am not as into BDSM to the same level as most lifestyle people are. I am a very, very much a fisting top. I am a very much a
no, hold up. Fisting,
top.
You're going to have to explain some of this to me. I don't think I am quite as progressive. So fisting top, explain this term to me.
Wait, before I explain, I actually forgot to introduce you to our audience. So they're like, who is he talking to?
They'll catch up.
So folks, for those of you who have made it this far into this weird ass intro, I have an actual adulterer here on the show, Miss Scarlett Prynne.
Hi everyone, thank you for having me on. The difference though between me and Hester Prynne is I didn't need an A. I'm a self-proclaimed adulterer.
You just have the A pasted and tattooed right on your forehead.
I didn't even need it. So, yeah, I'm in an open marriage.
Ooh, that's hot. Yeah. I want to talk all about that.
Yeah, except my husband was not a willing participant in this open marriage.
That's so funny.
Yeah, that's a little bit how it's played out. Yes, it's been interesting for sure. I just came to a point of realizing this is not what I want for my future. And part of that was just me, I think, finally coming into who I am and owning who I am. You know, like trying to deal with the negative self-narrative that I didn't even realize I really had until recently. And just through that, finally saying, you know what, I don't have to settle anymore.
That's so
It was very
liberating of
freeing.
you. Like, how did you get to that stage in your discovery where you're like, monogamy is not for me? Like, what were the earlier signs that you were like, I need to get fucked some more?
You know, it really is a lot of my personality in many areas. I crave variety. And my mother used to shame me about that aspect of my personality, telling me I couldn't ever finish anything or never stuck to things. When I finally decided, you know what, I'm going to embrace this part of my personality, that, yeah, I do get bored of things sometimes really easily, but that's usually because I want to be challenged. You know, and what if I embraced that part of my personality instead of considering it to be a bad part of myself? That changed everything for me. And one area where that plays out is with non-monogamy. I like variety. I don't want just chocolate every day or Rocky Road every day. Those are great flavors, but I want to change it up. Again, those flavors aren't great, but not every day for the rest of my life.
I am coming from the same place because I'm currently still single and I'm probably going to die single.
Why do you say that?
Because I don't want to be tied down to a man. Ugh, gross.
Oh, gotcha. So you're single by choice.
I don't know if by choice. Let's just say I'm happily looking around.
Okay, gotcha. But it needs to be the right situation.
Yeah, because you know what, for me, I do consider myself a little bit high maintenance at times, and maybe there are just guys out there, right? There are just guys out there who can't keep up, who are, which is kind of odd because gays are very fast paced, and we're going after the next tail, you know, and. Lately, the guys that I've been seeing have been more I just want to settle down. And I'm like, ugh, what? You want a mortgage or something? Do you want to move in together? Yuck. I just want to fuck.
So maybe you need to go for younger guys. Because I feel like the younger demographic would be completely on board with what you're saying.
I'm 30. I have to go even younger?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
That's true. All right, fine. I'm going to have to find a guy who still has acne, still wears braces, still has algebra homework.
Maybe not that young.
Oh, well, you have to be a little more specific, Scarlett.
Okay, maybe 5 to 7 years young. Is that too young?
For me, honestly, I think it may be a little too young because I've done some pretty wild stuff 5-7 years ago.
Okay.
At 23 to 25. That was me coming out of my escorting days, and I was on the wild side. So maybe I'm just projecting my own insecurities onto other guys that are at that age. They could be emotionally mature at 25, 27, or 23, 25, whatever. But I don't know. They just have to match my values of being sexually adventurous or being not needing to be tied down to one person for the rest of my life. You know, they have to be open too, because
non-monogamous.
Yeah, just be non-monogamous, because I personally feel like I can't be monogamous. I feel very tied down, restricted, and I know I'm going to get bored. And also, when it comes to any sort of non-monogamy term, whether you're open, swinging, or whatever, I feel like at the heart of that is, why love just one person when you can love as many people as possible? Right? And I also
That's true.
I can't depend on one person to meet every single one of my needs for the rest of my life.
That is very true.
Yeah, that feels very dependent, and I'm just I don't want to depend on a man. Ugh. It's just... I
So
mean,
you have trust issues? Is that what you're saying?
oh, let's not start there, Scarlett. Let's not
Yeah.
even start there. So
But
many
I
trust
get what you're
issues.
saying, though. I get what you're saying. And I would argue that it actually could be a higher form of love when you can be non-monogamous with someone, because you're saying to your partner, I'm okay with you getting pleasure in other places, and it doesn't have to come from me.
Right. And like, it's very, I'd say, like, generous. Well, okay, maybe not generous. This,
Well, it
uh,
is, though. I agree.
it,
I think that is a
it
generous
is.
viewpoint to say it's okay for you to go get pleasure elsewhere. At the end of the day, your happiness is more valuable to me than my ego, basically, is what it comes down to, right? That I have to be the
Mm-hmm.
one to give it to you.
Okay, yeah, no, that's very true. And it's like you're freeing them from some sort of like restriction. And the
Right.
last thing we need after all these lockdowns is more restrictions, right? So
Exactly.
like,
Exactly.
yeah. So when you started with this whole open relationship thing, how did you start that conversation? Because I can't imagine that ever being easy.
No, it certainly wasn't.
Mm.
And honestly, what it came down to was there was a guy I wanted to fuck.
Of course,
And
it's always one.
you, yeah, so, well, and what it came down to for me, interestingly enough, is I was able to cross the moral barrier of sleeping with someone outside my marriage, but the barrier I couldn't cross was lying about it,
Mm.
cheating. So, interestingly enough, I could get there on having sex with this other guy. I knew I was going to have sex with him. We were already talking about when and where it was going to happen, but I could not lie about it. I couldn't hide it. It was the deception, that barrier I couldn't cross morally, interestingly
Hmm.
enough. So that's
Good
whenever
for
I had
you.
the conversation. So,
Yeah.
go figure. It's
Good for
very interesting
you.
to me.
Truly, like, kudos to you. I am a little more sinful. um, okay, let it be known though that I've never actually cheated. I've never cheated.
Okay.
I
Okay.
have been cheated on,
Okay.
and I have been an instrument in cheating. So,
Okay. I have too. I've been the
someone,
other woman.
right? So we're both the the Scarlet
Yeah.
Letter
Oh,
here,
I,
you
I,
know?
I am a self-professed adulterer. I own that shit.
Yeah. Like, even as we speak, there's this guy that's been texting me. He just got engaged to his fiance, who's a woman, and he's like, I'm about to get married. We should probably, like, fuck as much as we can before I get married. I'm like, you know what? I, sure, fine. I'm not the one ruining a home here. He's doing it on himself. He's doing it on his own. So I'm
Well,
clear. I'm in the clear.
so now is he honest with her that he's bi, or is he completely putting up the front that he is straight?
Uh, that I don't know, nor I
Interesting.
feel like should I care,
I
because
gotcha.
to me
Okay.
he's just a piece of meat. Like,
Gotcha.
that's it.
Gotcha.
The only
You're
time I ever
keeping
text
it.
him is to
Got it.
fuck. That's it. Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Very distinctly fuck buddy. I see.
Yeah, and like, I feel like I made that very clear that, in any sort of like male to male interaction, I'm just here to fuck. Unless I say, like, do you want to have kids one day? Or something like that. I can't do emotions. I just can't. I can't do feelings. And I mean, one day I hope so, but right now I'm getting hives just thinking about
Oh, how
commitment.
funny.
Ugh,
Well,
God.
I would think that there would be a lot of guys in that same place, though, because I can tell you most of the guys I run into, probably close to 90% of them want to do just that, just fuck. They don't want anything serious. They don't want anything emotional. So do you really seriously have a hard time finding that?
I have a hard time finding hot guys who want the same thing as me, because
I
so
see.
many. I'm also okay, after having had, like, I don't know, up to 4 digits in my kill list, which is I really should stop calling it my kill list. It's so mean. My tastes have gone a little more. I was about to say refined, but really I'm the least refined person you'll ever run into. But you know, like I'm starting to be a little more discerning with who I want to fuck and who wants to fuck me. Like I'm not just gonna open my legs up anymore to the first Tom, Dick, or Harry that comes into my bedroom. I kind of want a little more Idris Elba, you know? I kind of want a little more Chris Evans, you know? Something like that.
Gotcha. Okay. So your standards have gone up, and therefore it makes it a little bit harder to find someone to meet those standards.
Exactly. Yeah, because a lot of the guys here, especially in Toronto, they're very like wishy-washy, and they're here for a good time, not a long time. And I feel like I could be one of those, but
it
Toronto is
like
a city
it.
of tourists. Yeah. Drag me.
Hey. Own that shit.
No, but this city is like just full of guys who are just coming in and out because it's like a very touristy location. So that makes it a little more difficult to find guys who just want to stay here for the long term, who just want to fuck.
So you do want a long-term situation then?
But
casual
for now, but if I'm going to think long-term, like maybe 10 years down the road, open relationship. Gotta be.
Gotcha.
I don't mind getting married. I mean, I'm a fucking pastor.
Are you really?
Like, I can conduct marriages.
How funny. Do you actually do sermons?
I mean, cater to, like, whatever people want me to say in their shit. Like, I'll just make it funny and be like, do you? All right, done. That's it. Like, we don't have to do any more dearly beloved nonsense. We are gathered here today. Like, put me to sleep. God.
Yes. Some of those wedding ceremonies can get way long-winded.
Yeah, exactly. Like I just
like this marriage is not even going to last till the end of this ceremony.
Just let's fast forward straight to the divorce hearing right now. Oh my God. Yeah. No, I'm in it for the money. I'm only a pastor for the money.
Gotcha. So is this lucrative?
The gays, they're willing to pay money for a non-denominational wedding. Or like, since I was raised Catholic, I can remember some Catholic stuff. There are gay Catholics out there, so I'll just like milk every last bit of Catholic trauma from memory.
Oh, how funny.
And put that into the sermon.
That is hilarious. Who knew? Yeah. Maybe I'm in the wrong business.
You know what? I agree. Same with me. I really should just be a pastor for weddings only full time.
Hey, it sounds like it might be a lucrative career.
It could be. But I want to ask you more about, like, I mean, obviously you're here because we're here to talk about sex. So,
hell yeah.
Can you recall your earlier memories of sex education? Like, what was it like? Was it like...
Oh gosh, I didn't have sex education.
None.
So
okay.
No. I grew up in a very Christian conservative home, and my parents did not talk to us about sex. I think my mom attempted one time, and it was very surface level, and it was like well after I already knew what it was. Right? It was like, do you really think I don't know this already? So how I found out about sex was from other girls in my ballet class when I was about 10 years old. That's how I found out what sex was.
Oh no. What did they say? Oh no.
Well, at that point in time, about all that she knew was you put the penis inside your vagina. And of course, all of us 10 to 12-year-old girls are going, what?
That sounds awful. That sounds like an act of violence. That is terrible.
So that is how I first learned what sex was from a ballet class.
Oh, jeez. So when it came to actually having sex for the first time, how did that go down?
Again, coming from a Christian home, I was supposed to be a virgin, right? Until I was married. And I carried that forward, right? And I really didn't want to disappoint my parents. So my boyfriend and I, we got together when I was about 19. We would do everything except the actual vagina penetration, right? It was like, well, so long as we don't do that, we're good, right? Which is so ridiculous. We were even doing anal sex. Like, tell me how that's okay. But it was like, well, I'm still a virgin, right? It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Have you heard this trend on the internet, mostly by Mormons, called soaking?
Is that where you insert, but you just sit there, you don't thrust?
And then you get a friend, you get a friend to jump up and down on the bed so that the motion allows you to do the thrusting without actually ever having to do the thrusting.
That is hilarious. So that then qualifies as still being a virgin if you only soak? That is hilarious.
Yeah. So anal sex or soaking, mouth stuff, as long as it's not penis and vagina, you're good.
That is hilarious.
Oh, God. You know, as much as we laugh at conservative Christian views of sex, I kind of want to credit them for coming up with new positions that I don't think I could ever come up with on my own.
There you go. Touché.
Like using, I don't know, chopsticks or something, or that thing they use to reach really long, far stuff and use that as a sex toy. And they're like, we're still good. We're still getting into heaven. I never touched it.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Exactly. It's kind of ridiculous the things we do to still feel like we're in the good graces.
Oh my God. I mean, you know what? If God really was out there, I think he would just want us to fuck and just get over it. Like, just do it. He'd be like, y'all just need to get over yourselves. Just fucking go. I invented an orgasm for a reason. Like, he really put his whole pussy into the orgasm. When he made
we just recorded an episode where we talk about a podcast episode where we talk about paranormal experiences, and we bring a lot of religion talk into it. But I talk about the way that I talk with God, what I interpret as being God, right? And I'll say fuck. I'll talk about all the shit that I do now, right? And I talk about how I feel like it's our own framework, our own shame we carry that pulls us away from that. It's not God pulling away from us. It's us deciding that we are a disappointment and pulling away from him. So that's my theory anyway.
I mean, hey, I'm a recovering Catholic, so I've basically gone over that hump and just gotten over any sort of sexual amore, any obstacle. I mean, I'm going to hell. I'll see you all there. But I honestly think
it's
that
an interesting discussion.
Right, like if he really was up there, he'd be like, "Why aren't you guys having more orgasms like I designed you to have?" You know,
that is true. He created it.
So much work into making an orgasm, and was like, "Have more," and we're like, "No, I want to get into heaven." Get over it. I'm so tired. I just want to lie down in bed all day and ejaculate until my balls run dry.
What is the most you have come in one single day? 24-hour period.
Okay.
Guesstimate if you have to.
At least over a dozen.
Okay, so over a dozen. What's the quickest in between the two ejaculations you've been able to do?
5 minutes. Definitely 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes. So you recover pretty quickly.
I do. I have a very high sex drive, which is what made me such a successful escort.
I bet.
And also, it doesn't hurt that I got a nice dick. Uh,
Hell yeah. Okay, now, are you willing to give your dimensions, girth and length?
People are gonna have to pay for that. Actually, I'm gonna leave that to
Oh,
their
okay.
imagination.
Okay.
Let's just say
Okay.
Richard and Jackson can testify. They are modeled after me.
Okay. And they're pretty big. I mean, that's like half your wall right there. You hide it well. I don't even know where you put it.
It's like an elephant trunk that I have to sling over my shoulder every single time. None the wiser. So, my college name was Timmy Two Beers because my thing looked like 2 beer cans.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it certainly does help when you have a nice cock. Now, do you prefer the word cock or dick?
Here's the thing. I have always thought that it's contextual because dick
Interesting.
sounds like it sounds like an insult, like suck my dick. But
I've heard
like
that.
if you say cock, it's like suck my cock. Like
Okay. So it seems like you prefer cock if it's sexual.
Yeah, and dick if I'm insulting you. Like you're such
Gotcha.
a dickwad. Like I can't just call you. You're a fucking cock. Like it doesn't have the same bite that dick.
You're
has.
right. You're right.
But like if I tell a guy to go down on my dick, it's like I promise I'm not insulting you. I'm just telling you how I want to be pleasured right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That makes
Eat
sense.
my
I've had a
dick.
couple of guys recently tell me that they prefer the word cock because the word dick is associated with it has that negative connotation or that negative stigma to it.
Right? Like what
So
about
I was
you?
like, interesting.
How do you like prefer your parts to be called? Like, and what are some
I
of the
say
things
pussy.
that are just pussy's fine, right? But what if someone called it a cunt?
I mean, it's a little more brash, I guess. It kind of because I guess I can see now what you guys are talking about because cunt is usually an insult, right? If you call someone a cunt, yeah, okay, I can see what you mean now with the dick. Yeah, that makes sense.
Which is why I always make it a point to ask whoever I'm fucking or whoever's fucking me, like, what do you want me to call your parts? Right, I was sleeping with this trans guy one time, and he didn't want me to call him, or to call his parts his pussy, even though, like, it is still very much a vulva. He wanted me to call it his mangina.
Interesting.
I don't want to laugh,
All right.
but, like... mangina, I don't know if I could ever call it that, but he's like, yeah, or just cock was fine. I'm like, oh, mangina, God bless his soul.
So what do you consider, that is funny. What do you consider to be your sexual orientation? Are you pansexual?
I'm very much on the 5.9 out of 6 on the Kinsey scale. So if 6 was like super totally homo and 1 was like super totally hetero, I'm like 5.9 because I have been with women in the past. I actually almost became a father at one point.
Ooh.
Yeah, thank God she didn't want to keep it. She's like, neither do I. Bye. And then recently, I think like maybe pre-pandemic, I was having drinks with this one lady who was giving me, or just covering my tab, really. And went to her home.
You had a sugar mama?
She was a sugar mama. And then
Hell yeah.
like we got naked and everything, and then she told me to go down on her dick. And like it was super hot, and I was like doing her from the back. But what was really funny is that she was like, oh, I'm like, holy shit. Her voice just dropped mid fuck, and I kid you not, I went,
really?
I was just
interesting.
Like, why did that turn me off?
What was it about that?
I don't know. I have no idea. Like, why is it like she's like, fuck me. Like she switched back to her guy voice. I was like, why am I
That's very interesting because normally you're into men, right?
Yeah. But I guess I was also extremely like drunk. But like that's not to invalidate our experience. It was fun. But it's just like I think I was attracted to a very specific aspect of her at that time that when it came to that sort of vocal switch, it made me like, that doesn't match with my fantasy.
Interesting.
Right? So I ended up faking an orgasm, and then I was like, this was fun.
That's so interesting. You faked an orgasm. So was that just to like end the rendezvous amicably?
Yes, because she came and she wanted me to keep fucking. So I was like, all right, how much longer do I keep going? She's like, fuck me until you come. I'm like, all right, fake, and then, all right, this was fun. See you whenever.
You know, I only recently found out that guys fake orgasms. I thought that was just a woman thing.
No, faking orgasms is definitely an anybody thing.
Apparently, I was shocked to find this out. I was like, wow, I had no idea.
Have you ever faked one before?
I have not. And this
not?
probably goes
Okay.
back to that dishonesty, like deception thing. Like for whatever reason, it's like a core value I don't cross.
You are truly way more wholesome than I could ever aspire to be, because I am a home wrecker. I am just an
Well, I'm not saying I'm not a home wrecker. I just say I don't lie about it.
Listen, I have ruined families. I have been like the cause of a divorce. You know what I mean. I'm just like, absolute dumpster fire.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, arguably, it wasn't you that was the cause. It takes two to tango.
That's true. You know what? I'm just the victim here, really. Why do I have to be so hot? Why do I have to be so desirable? Why do people want me so much? It's not fair. Beautiful, sexy people need more representation. Really, like.
So where do
My
you find your
struggles.
willing victims? Are you an online dater?
My willing victims. You make me sound like a predator, which I am, but like. So, back in the day, my quote unquote willing victims were done through my pimp.
Oh, interesting.
And then, yeah,
the plot thickens.
back then they were done through my pimp, and she already had like a network of clients ready to go. And then when I slowly phased out of escorting, I would go to the clubs in the village, the gay bars, and then when the pandemic hit, I was like, all right, I guess everything's shut down. Let's just go online. Grindr, Tinder, Bumble, you name it, I've been on it at least once. So, yeah, it wasn't really that hard, because guys, especially gay guys, are horny and will cross boundaries, violate restrictions just to get some dick.
So what's your favorite platform right now?
Scruff. It's where all the daddies are, because I like them older.
Interesting. Oh,
I
interesting.
love older
Scruff.
men.
Now, I haven't heard of this one. Is it specific to gays, or is it for anyone?
Yes, it's specific to gay men. And you'll see that the user base is mostly like older men. So like you got the gray hair, you got a little bit of a beer belly, which I love. Give me a gut over a rock hard set of abs.
Really? Interesting.
It's so much more comfortable and just like nice to hold. And
nice.
Rock hard abs, it's like having abs with a nice dick and not knowing how to use your dick is like
Touché.
having a Lamborghini and not knowing how to drive it.
Yep.
Like, there's this whole thing of like, if you're hot, you probably know how to fuck, and it's like absolutely false. As someone that's been with over thousands of guys, I can tell you right now, some of the best sex I've ever had were with guys who don't look like your typical models.
Yeah.
That are not from an Abercrombie and Fitch catalog.
Right.
Like, I had this one guy who kept fucking like there was some sort of camera like he would always angle himself towards a specific thing. It wasn't until I found out he actually had a camera. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, wow.
You're recording without my consent? This is insane. Yeah. And the sex was so bad anyway. Like, ugh, God.
Not worth recording.
No. I smashed his camera on the way out. I got so pissed.
Wow.
It was one of those like Nanny or Nest cams or something.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Pissed me off.
So how much older do you go? Are we talking 60s?
So when I started escorting at 19, the oldest client I have ever been with was in his 70s.
Okay, and how was it?
But I mean, there was like no like sex in the sense that like I'm like fucking him. Like, you know, hand stuff, some mouth stuff, but it's still technically sex. And it was just like, it was nice that I was able to give him like something that he was never able to have in his lifetime. So, you know, it was wholesome, actually. If I'm going to be honest, it was
interesting,
nice and gentle. He was one of my favorite regulars until, you know, time came. He passed away. May he rest in peace. Hope he's thinking of me wherever he is. But yeah, it was just nice. I liked it. But lately, now, like, I think the oldest guy I've been with was, like, he just turned 80. He doesn't look it. So it was hot. Like,
hey, good for him. He's still getting it on at 80. I hope I'm still getting it on at 80.
The guy, like, lifts. Like, he does a whole bunch of weightlifting, so he looks like he's 20 years younger than he actually is. And
wow, that's great.
He fucks so good. Like,
interesting.
I swear, like, he can lift me, he'll bend me like a pretzel. I do not care. Like,
wow. Nice.
The older the better. The older the better.
That's actually really hot.
It's I recommend everybody listening to this to find yourself someone older, because they just know how things work. They know, they've been around, guys. Right? They've just been around, and they know how to use their shit more than like your college twink or whatever. And it's like so much more fulfilling. So much more fulfilling.
I agree with that. It may have something to do with my daddy issues too, but I like the older guys.
Oh no, let's not go in there. I'm looking for my father, but I'm also looking for a partner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, kind of. You know, I actually think it's hot when guys like to be called daddy.
You know what? I agree. I don't like being called daddy ever. Well, maybe not ever. Just not until I'm actually showing signs of daddiness.
Gotcha.
I was 26 and the guy was 23 and he called me daddy then. I was like, what? Huh? This is a 3-year difference. I could at least be your brother, but not a daddy. This what?
But you like the daddy, so you would be the one calling someone else daddy.
Yeah, I am like very much more into calling someone else daddy rather than someone calling me daddy.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
me too.
It's just hotter that way, and I understand the whole dynamic of like father-son role play. It's hot because like when I was like 19 or 20. I still fit into my high school uniform. So guys ate that shit up. They're like, wow, you're so young. Did you just come out of high school? Yes, I did. Ate that shit up with a fucking shovel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. The barely 18 fantasies.
Exactly, right? Yeah, I did play into that whole, like, because like I'm Asian, so I look young, so it kind of catered to this whole fantasy of being like a new immigrant who's just like landed in North America, looking for a dream, looking for some guidance, and just like is willing to do anything to make it to the top.
Nice.
I was written out of a porno. Like that's really,
That is hilarious.
That's really the whole thing I was going for, but definitely not the weirdest thing I've ever done.
We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Yes.
What's up, all you sick fucking perverts? Don't you just love love? The Love Shop has everything you need to feel the love in the air, or in between your legs, wherever you want, really. They've got everything from vibrators, lubes, lingerie, and even full-sized sex dolls. Wow, I guess love really does come in all shapes and sizes. Visit loveshop.ca/sexedwithtim and use code SEXEDWithTim at checkout for 15% off the whole store. And the best part is that they ship all over Canada, US, and what? Ireland? To all my whores in Dublin, top of the morning to ya. That's loveshop.ca/sexedwithtim and check out code SEXEDWithTim for 15% off the entire store. Now get to fucking. Do you like feeling sexy and looking sexy? Of course you do. Only my listeners are sexy as fuck. I have partnered with fetishwear designer Dale Kuda to bring you the hottest deals on custom jockstraps, harnesses, hats, and more. Head over to dalekuda.com, that's DALEKUDA.com, and use code SEXEDWithTim at checkout for 25% off the entire store. Yeah, you heard me. 25% off. And cherry on top, free shipping. Oh my god. I have a few of the stuff that he has made for me, and girl, I'm wearing it right now. I'm wearing like a little jockstrap so that I could easily just like slip a little butt plug or dildo every now and then here and there, and I'm on the train, I'm just like, thank you, Dale. That's dalekuda.com with the code SEXEDWithTim for 25% off your entire purchase with free shipping. With a deal like that, I swear I could come buckets, honey.
The show is about to begin.
Yes.
Speaking of weird, what's the weirdest thing you've done, Scarlett? Or at least you personally find?
I don't know that I've done anything too terribly weird. In fact, I only recently was tied up for the first time. That was new for
fun.
me.
How did that go?
And I'm 40, so it took 40 years. But I liked it. I want to explore that more because I really actually enjoyed it. And the guy that did it to me, he's into the BDSM scene, so he had a bag of tricks. And so he was trying some stuff on me to see if I would like it, like the various whips and floggers and stuff that he had. So I'm like, I would like to explore this a little bit more. I think this would be fun. But up to this point, I've been pretty vanilla, actually. I'm just starting to now spread my wings now that I've opened my marriage the last couple years.
Legs. And your legs.
My legs, absolutely. I'm spreading my wings now, trying some new things.
What about getting tied up turned you on so much?
I think there's something about the fact that you have to be with someone, first of all, that you trust, obviously. And there's something a little bit hot about that. And then just giving up control. Like normally in my life, I'm a business owner, I'm a mom, I'm very confident and self-assured in everything that I do. So in that one aspect, just giving up complete control to someone else and just being in their hands, there's something hot about that.
It's this kind of like complete release of control.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I'm trusting someone enough that my life is in their hands and my safety is in their hands. Yeah. And like, this is safe enough for me to take risks. And that's so sexy. It is. I just want to feel safe enough that someone can stab me, or
I get it. That you would put yourself in that position. Yeah.
Put me through meat hooks or something. Okay, wait, maybe not, but people know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Put yourself in
Right.
dangerous situations, but have that kind of trust with someone that they obviously wouldn't take advantage of you. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Like it even took me a lot of trust when I was with my first partner to even have a threesome. Like, this was my very, very first relationship. I was like, I don't know what. He's like, nothing's gonna change between us if we invite a third party over. But I was like, okay.
That's a big step.
Alright. Yeah, but then jump forward 10 years later, I'm literally at a sex party with like 200 guys. So,
So
yeah.
I have something on the books for this weekend that's going to stretch me a little bit because I haven't done a threesome up to this point.
What?
And I've never done a threesome before. I also have never watched someone have sex or had someone watching me have sex. So this weekend, though, I have something on the books that my friend has talked me into. It's actually Hazel from our podcast. She's a recurring guest that comes on. She has talked me into getting together with her and two other guys that are in the lifestyle. And basically the four of us together, you know, maybe coupling up, but there's a guy there that is supposed to be really good at getting girls to squirt. So this is going to be a new, very big step for me because I've never done anything like that before.
Group sex or squirting?
I've done squirting before, but it's been a very long time. So, and only with one guy, that my first husband who passed away 10 years ago. I have never squirted since.
Since
so,
then, okay.
So it kind of feels like the first time because it's been so long.
Like you're a virgin again. Like Madonna said, like a virgin.
Yep.
I don't know. Okay, maybe this is just me, like, and my hesitation towards straight men, but like, I don't really trust guys, especially straight guys, who brag about something like that.
So we'll see.
We'll see.
I will report back. Like, I'm
Please
creating
do.
content this weekend, so I will be reporting back on the podcast about how well his skills actually work. Because he came on the podcast and bragged that his method worked 98% of the time. His technique is to do the come here motion with his fingers. Actually, he uses his ring finger and his middle finger. And the come here motion on the G spot. But he's not just going towards himself, he's also going up and down, kind of in a diagonal. And he says you got to get a really good rhythm, right? You've really got to pound it like fast. Also, with the other hand, putting the other hand on top of the pelvis, which does a couple of things. One, it creates warmth and blood flow to that area, but also, he says, pressing it down to where the G spot comes closer to where he's hitting it with his fingers.
Okay.
So this is his method that he says works 98% of the time.
And he's only been with, what, 5 women? No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
Well, he's in the lifestyle, and he's been in the lifestyle for 10 years. It sounds like he's gotten around.
Good. Well, good for him. Sorry, I just, like, when it comes to straight men, I'm just like, whatever. All right, well, good for him. I hope you get some squirting done this weekend.
We'll see.
Report back. I've done the same thing, actually, where I literally hit record on my phone, and then the moment we finished fucking, just hit record and just reported.
Talk about it?
So, yeah. Like, I literally brought my phone out, and I was like, all right, welcome to another episode of Sex Ed with Tim. And then just, like, we were covered in cum and sweat and spit, and we just talked about it. So
that is greatness.
Makes for a great episode, and not even good.
Sure does.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I love it.
God. Yeah, because I want to hear all about squirting. I don't think I've ever made anyone squirt before. I mean, you know, guys are always quote unquote squirting, but I'm curious to know what this is going to be like. So
I am too.
I'll hear about it.
We'll see if I can actually make this happen.
It's actually quite interesting that you say that you've never had group sex before, because the vibe I'm getting from you is that you've probably been in so many group sex situations before. Wow.
No, I've been actually pretty vanilla up to this point. Now, like I said, I'm spreading my wings now. I'm trying new things. I'm exploring more. So we'll see. A year from now, it may be completely different.
Would your husband ever engage in the lifestyle? Like, I'm assuming you have a husband. I assume everyone's gay until they tell me. Okay.
Yeah. No, I have a husband. Yeah, and he is as vanilla as they come. If there's anything more bland than vanilla, that's him.
Water.
Yeah. So no, I don't think I could ever get him to do any of this stuff that we've been talking about.
He's not gonna go out and find other sexual partners beyond you.
No, he says he is monogamous. He's always going to be monogamous, and we do have plans to divorce. There is a runway to this, so.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So.
Hey, you got everything planned out. That's amazing.
Yep. So I don't know if he will wait till the ink dries on that, or if he might find someone before that, but he claims he is not gonna fuck me anymore if he finds someone else. We'll see.
Well, no, that's really cool how you have everything planned out. And normally when people hear the word divorce, they're like, "Aw," but I'm more of like, "Congrats." I think divorce is one of the best things to happen since sliced bread. That's so fucking
Touche.
cool.
Touche.
Yeah. So fucking good for you. That's so amazing how like you're just living your best sexual life, and like there's just something so heartwarming about hearing people, especially that come from like conservative backgrounds, to just like realize the power that can be harnessed from sexual liberation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right? Do you feel that your life has changed for the better now that you're allowing yourself all of this pleasure?
Absolutely. And in more ways than one. I think just me shedding that negative self-narrative has opened up so many things to me. Just helping me feel better about who I am and loving who I am has created this freedom in my life that yes, obviously that expands to the non-monogamy and the sexual part of my nature, absolutely, but really it expands to all areas of my life. And I definitely wish that I had realized much sooner that I didn't need to wear that shame all the time. I wasted so many years because of it.
Yeah, right? How do you find that your sexual liberation has affected your life in non-sexual ways? Like, do you find more fulfillment at work and family and friends because you're getting fucked all the time now?
I think that having this non-monogamy now, and having that variety in my life, which I shared earlier, I crave that, right? So when relationships are new, those are so much fun, right? When you're first learning about each other, everything is new and exciting and you can't stop thinking about that person. I love that feeling. And so I think that just carries over into everything else in my life, like that elation and excitement and feeling better about myself. All of that carries over into everything I'm doing, whether it be career, mom, whatever. I love it.
Mm. And there's also like this fearlessness that comes with it. Like, because I'm not scared anymore to ask for what I want in bed, I'm not going to be scared to ask for what I want at, I don't know, fucking Olive Garden or something.
There you go. There you go.
Or at work. It's like, I actually asked for this 5 business days ago. Where is
there
it?
You go. Exactly right.
Scarlett, you're such an amazing and fun guest, and I don't want this to end. So, are you okay to play a little game with me?
Sure, I'll play a game with you.
Yeah, all right, perfect. So, this segment of the show is called Naughty or Nice. And what I would like for you to do without context is choose naughty or nice?
Ooh. Okay, let's start with nice. We'll ease into this.
Ease into it, just like anal.
We let the cock insert slowly, get used to it, and then you can fuck the shit out of it.
There you go. Or get yourself an anal dilator and just work your way towards a girthier dick. Yeah. So the nice portion of this game, they're actually quite wholesome questions. And the first question I have here is, what emotions do you feel when performing oral sex?
I enjoy performing oral, but there are times when I can get into my head, and I'm working on that, right? And I think maybe this is a human phenomenon, but for sure for us women, we can get into our heads and feel self-conscious about it. Like, is he enjoying it? How does my hair look? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we have all these pop-up windows. Like, oh, is my cellulite showing? You know what I'm saying? Like, it really gets in the way of things.
I get it. Like, for me, when I'm, like, having sex, there are times when I get into my head and just think, oh my God, he's probably looking at my stretch marks right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you get it.
Or something. Yeah. But, when I'm going down on a guy, mostly I feel... 1, horny, 2, happy, and 3, hungry. So, because I didn't eat 24 hours prior to sex, so I'm just probably going to swallow.
The 3 H's.
What did I say? Happy, horny, and hungry, yeah.
Yep.
So I'm willing to swallow because I am starving.
Me too. Yep.
So
it's actually our first episode of my podcast was swallowing.
Ooh. How do you feel about swallowing?
I'm game for it. Now, if your cum tastes nasty, we might have a problem. I'm probably not going to sign up to do it again. But if it tastes good, then sure, why not?
Yeah. Guys, stay away from cigarettes. Stay away from too much red meat. Loads of alcohol. Ugh. Stick to your greens and your fruits. And we promise we will go down on you more if it tasted like candy.
There you go.
All right. So the second question I have here is, how does your body know when it's ready for sex?
In my case, there's physical evidence, down there in terms of a white substance.
Wet?
Yes, I get wet. Exactly.
Like a water slide.
Yes.
You just slip right out of your seat.
Yeah. So definitely that's a sure sign.
Not a dry pussy in the house.
There you go. Exactly.
Anything in your body that's non-genital related that is saying you're ready for sex?
It's really, for me especially, it's a mental thing. If you can mentally stimulate me, it has a direct connection to the genitals. And I'm a sapiosexual, so that's very much intertwined for me.
I love that. Because for me, I know my body's ready for sex when I start to get a little, like, heated. Like, my body does, like, actually feel a lot hotter. And also, like, I'm already, like, really warm anyway. So I'm like a portable heater during the winter. And then imagine that getting horny. I'm basically like sweating like a whore in church. Wow. Just and like my fingertips get a little cold, and there's like goosebumps running along
Interesting.
My arm.
You have a lot of things going on.
I've just noticed when I'm horny without the need for the validation of an erection. Because like you don't need to be hard to be turned on, the same way you don't need to be wet to be turned on. Yeah. And also I'm just easily turned on. I'm easy.
Me too.
But I'm not inexpensive, so y'all are gonna have to save up for a session with me.
Cheap but not expensive.
What did Dolly Parton say? It takes a lot of money to look this cheap.
That's funny. She is hilarious.
Oh my God. I one day want to have the charisma of Dolly Parton and the tits of Dolly Parton.
Yes, I
Like,
know. She's beautiful. She's absolutely
she's-
beautiful.
Yeah. Jolene, give me your secrets, Jolene.
Yep.
All right. So the second portion of this game is the naughty portion.
Okay.
And
I'm
what
ready.
this is called Red Flags. It's a fun party game where we're going to go on a date, but it's your job, Scarlett, to defend this date. Why is this date worth going on?
Okay.
You know? So let's start with date number 1. He is in touch with his feelings.
Well, that's
He's-
a good thing.
Right. He's trusting.
Okay.
Right. But he thinks you're
But-
ugly.
He thinks I'm ugly. Well, maybe he's into ugly. Right? Maybe that's his thing, is ugly.
I mean, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder.
Absolutely. And maybe that's a fetish, isn't it? Isn't ugly a fetish?
You know what? Good question. Like, would I be willing to go out with an absolute bridge troll?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, there's probably entire websites dedicated to ugly.
that like sexualize ugly.
Yeah.
But then, would that make them beautiful because they think that ugly, or society's version of ugly, is sexy? Like,
Well, maybe he's like, you're ugly and I'm into that.
okay, fair. Because the first card did say he's in touch with his feelings, so he's gonna be
Yeah.
vocal about it and be like, "You're fucking hideous, but I'm gonna fuck you anyway."
Yeah. There you go. So that's what I'm going with. He's into ugly.
I'll give you that. That's funny. Okay, so the next date I have here is he has front row tickets to every concert. That's cool.
Okay. All right. Cool.
He's got the same favorite movies as you,
Perfect.
right? But oh boy, this one's a little rough. I don't know how you're going to defend this, but he tells you to calm down after everything you say.
That's not going to end well for him. It's not going to end well for him.
But you have to defend this. You have to make it like, why is this date
gosh.
worth going on? So, like, if you order something,
because
can I get
he's
the-
into pain too. Not only is he into ugly, but he's into pain.
No.
So
this is a different date
it
altogether.
works.
This is a different date.
Oh,
So
okay,
this
fine.
guy,
Then it's a
Yeah.
new guy that's into pain, and this is his word that tells me, oh, you're ready for pain now. Okay, here we go.
that's his like.
That's his
green
cue.
word. This is cue
Yeah,
to be like.
yeah, that's his
I'm ready
cue
to
that
get smacked.
I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Yeah.
Oh my god! Can you imagine just like, hey, can I get some breadsticks? And he's like, calm down. That's so
And I slap-
rude.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I could ever go on this date, to be quite honest. I don't. How do you defend this? Like, tells you to calm down after everything you say.
I'm telling you, it's just the cue. It's the signal. Like, okay, I'm ready for the pain now.
So does that mean he's like in the mood after everything you say?
But when he says calm down, then I
That's
know you're ready to get hit.
Are you a top, Scarlett? Are you
Well, I
very much-
am in life, yes. In bed, no.
Okay. I mean, no, that's common, but like, it's very much giving me top energy if you want to slap him after everything you say.
Not everything that I say, just when he says calm down.
Calm down.
Don't say
Which
that
is-
shit to a woman.
Which is literally what the card says, tells you to calm down after everything you say.
Oh, I didn't get that part.
Yeah, everything
Yeah.
you say.
Well, I guess he really likes pain, like a lot.
Hey, babe, did you do the dishes? Calm down.
Yeah. Yeah, again, this is not going to end well for him, but he likes that.
Can you go pick up our child from daycare? Calm down.
Yeah.
That's awful. And then like, hey babe, I want a divorce.
Hey,
Calm
you-
down.
Yeah. Well, in that case, it might actually be fitting.
Right? Oh my god, that is it just goes to show that men, no matter how many green flags you find, there's always one thing that we're gonna pick on and fixate on that the entire relationship. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate men. Some of my closest friends are men. But let's be real, y'all make it really difficult to find love out here. Jesus. Oh, my
Trust me,
God.
I know.
Yeah, right. But Scarlett, thank you so much for coming on the show. You've been such a
course.
blast. You are truly one of the most joyful people I've ever run
Aw,
into, and
thank you.
way more wholesome than I could ever be. So,
Well, I've got my wild streak a little bit. I'm getting there.
and can you please make like a butt and plug away anything you want the audience to find? Where
Oh,
can
yes,
they
I can.
hear
So-
more about your wild streak?
So the podcast is The Good, The Bad, and The Whoreable, WHORE, Horrible. And our website is goodbadhorrible.com. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook. I'm mostly on Twitter personally, so you can our Twitter handle is Bad Horrible, again WHORE, Horrible. And you can find a lot of things that I post on there. And of course, we're on all the major platforms. The podcast is on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Google, all that good stuff. So I hope you guys will check it out. We have some good shit on there. We had an episode recently where one of my ex-lovers came on, and him and I rated each other's performance.
I could never.
I loved it.
I personally could never do that.
I loved it.
No. Mostly because I have destroyed a lot of my ex-lovers, so I already know the review that they're gonna leave me. Good for you though. Happy for you. Could not be me. Just
if anyone's interested in hearing it, it's good shit. It's good content right there.
I'll make sure to plug that in the show notes. And to all the listeners that have made it this far into this chaotic ass conversation, thank you for listening to another episode of the Sex Ed with Tim podcast. Please make sure to rate, review, and subscribe to wherever you get your podcast, because guess what? You're supporting queer content. And if you're not supporting, then you're a homophobe. I don't make the rules. So with that, thank you for making it this far, and I will see you all at the next episode. Bye! Thanks for listening to the Sex Ed with Tim podcast. Sex Ed with Tim is created and produced by me, Tim Lagman. Music is Aces High by Kevin MacLeod. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GaySlutClown and at Sex Ed with Tim. You can also like and follow me on the Sex Ed with Tim Facebook page. If you enjoyed the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for all your support, you dirty little slut. Mwah.